Hi everyone, the book I'm reviewing today is called Truth: How the Many Sides to Every Story Shape Our Reality by Hector Macdonald. I purchased this book in South Africa on a sidewalk sale. So I've selected a few extracts and you can then have a look on whether this would be a book you'd like to read. It was quite fascinating for me, and I think I'm really interested in the topic on communication, and this really helped me. So if you are interested in that topic, I would definitely highly recommend this read. Okay, let's dig in. We are easily influenced when we know nothing about a subject, but once we have established a view on quinoa, once our mindset is settled, it can be surprisingly hard to shift. This is a form of confirmation bias. We tend to be more receptive to new truths that fit with our existing mindsets and resistant to those that challenge our entrenched views. The complexity of issues like this, combined with the speed and short attention span of modern life, means that we can only consider a few facets of any subject in most discussions. But unless we make sure we hear from a range of voices, we will not get anywhere close to a full picture of reality. Most people do not. We get our news and opinion from a narrow set of sources. We tend to discuss issues with friends or colleagues who agree with us. Confirmation bias is widespread. We subconsciously filter out ideas or data that contradict what we believe. That leaves us vulnerable to highly selective portrayals of vitally important issues. On far too many issues, we hear only a small proportion of the available competing truths. Omission is a natural tactic for all of us. We don't post unflattering pictures on Facebook. We don't tell first dates about our snoring or our troublesome relatives. The more complex a subject, the greater the opportunity to omit unhelpful truths. There is just so much else to say. All too often, as we will see, omission is used to hide important truths and distort reality. There is complexity everywhere. There are more sides to the people we know, the places we visit, and the stuff we depend upon than most of us will ever bother to think through. The subject of this chapter is complexity, but the argument is simple. Most of the issues and entities we deal with are too complex to describe in full. We have to communicate in partial truths because life is too convoluted for us to offer anything more comprehensive. Human beings crave explanation. If something important happens, we want to understand why it happens. Because stories seem to show how one thing leads to another, they help us make sense of a chaotic world. King's story draws a coherent and comprehensible thread of logic through the mire of events. This is the real value of stories as a means of communication. They make complex stuff coherent and clear. But we pay a price for that clarity and coherence. The trouble with stories is that they are highly selective. Stories, bluntly, do not give the whole picture. Screenwriters, directors, and editors choose what to show from a multiplicity of options. And my absolute favorite quote from this book that I'd like to leave you with is this: "The camera never lies, but you can take 1,000 different pictures of the same scene." Let me know what you're currently reading, and if you've read this book, also let me know in the comments. And if you do purchase this book and read it, I'd also like to hear. Thank you.